3 days.
But what I will say is that it is easy to throw stones or be a critic from the outside. It is harder to be in their arena and make difficult decisions. And the decisions that a commander-in-chief has to make include among difficult options.
Jen Psaki today had to defend the president against harsh criticism from Democrats over his administration's handling of Afghanistan, specifically the withdrawal that has proved to just be a disaster. The White House, though, is doing everything possible to change the conversation. They held a separate COVID task force briefing. Psaki started her briefing talking about COVID, and Afghanistan came up briefly by remarks by President Biden with the Israeli Prime Minister. You see him in the Oval Office screen upper left, but the president did not take any questions. So how does the Biden administration's domestic agenda continue in the wake of the botched U.S. troop withdrawal? Dr. Lauren Wright is an associate research scholar and lecturer in politics and public affairs at Princeton University, joins us now. Dr. Wright, appreciate it. Is this an existential crisis for Biden's domestic agenda?
Sure. I mean, at the very least, it's a disastrous distraction and is certainly taking all hands on deck at the White House. But if you look at Biden's slipping approval ratings, we have to consider all of the factors in the environment at once. And so I don't even think that the slippage in popularity has fully captured what's happening in Afghanistan yet. His approval was already slipping due to the Delta resurgence and the surrounding economic issues. And so, yes, this Afghanistan situation is making it very hard for the White House to focus on other policy commitments, but they were already slipping a little bit and the honeymoon was already over.
Conceivably, this is the time that a strong vice president would help. A latest headline about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris blocks reporters from Hawaii event amid Kabul firestorm. She was MIA on Afghanistan for about 7 days. Does she just not want to have anything to do with the Afghanistan policy?
Well, she's been forced to comment on it on that trip. And she's been forced to answer to the obvious comparisons to Saigon and other mistakes throughout U.S. history. And so I think what's interesting about Vice President Harris, and I have some new research on this, is that usually vice presidential and presidential approval track almost exactly together. The first lady's typically more popular than both, but Kamala Harris has not been as popular as Biden from the beginning. And so she's less powerful as a positive public-facing surrogate than perhaps other vice presidents have been.
That's fascinating and interesting research. We have right now the Real Clear Politics average, and you're right that the president's approve-disapprove is crossed just in the past couple of days, now more disapprove than approve. But the fact that the vice president is so much less popular is interesting. We're going to have you back next week to talk about that. But I'm interested in sort of how the broader Democratic messaging is going, because in the wake of the bombing yesterday, this is what we heard from Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. Take a listen.
The unity of women will make change, transform our country. When women succeed, America succeeds.
What should we read into the fact that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Seth Moulton, sort of these, the list of Democratic leadership, is not all up at the White House for a briefing and then coming out in front of the West Wing to say, hey, we're here for the president, we stand behind him 100%?
Well, as you mentioned at the beginning of the segment, Democrats are really upset with the president, too, and that includes Democratic leadership. Many people can disagree whether we should have stayed in Afghanistan or left Afghanistan. Even the former president thought we should leave Afghanistan. But the botched execution and the deaths that have resulted are very hard for Americans, even Democratic leadership, to square. And so I think what's happening with Democrats is, unlike previous administrations, what typically happens is you rally behind your person no matter what. And what typically happens is Americans give presidents a lot of wiggle room, even on foreign policy and national security issues, because there's such a disinformation and information advantage that the president has. But now Democrats that are in power are demanding more answers and more information because there's such widespread agreement that
it was so bad.
These were a series of missteps.
Yeah. Dr. Wright, good to see you. And as I said, come back next week when I study that research about Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So how did the Taliban mislead the West? And more importantly, what do they have planned in the future? Holly McKay looking into that for us when we come back.